whispered around campfires and passed down from generation to generation. They spark fear in the hearts and minds of children and adults alike. Their subjects take many shapes, be they bloodthirsty creatures of the night, vengeance-seeking ghouls, or sinister vortices. And each time they are told, the terror spreads. You find yourself driving through the desolate, isolated desert roads of Arizona. It's only natural that you would feel uneasy. It's dark. No lush landscapes to captivate the imagination. Just the empty void of the desert as far as the eye can see. You drive on at 60 miles per hour, eager to progress on your journey and find a new backdrop for your travels. And that's when you hear it. A sound so unnerving and seemingly impossible considering the car is in motion, but the distinct sound of tapping on your window is undeniable. And so, against your better judgment, you turn to look and see a shape-shifting, mutilated, half-human creature, and you know exactly what you are seeing. But this is no comfort, because you also know exactly what it wants: to rip the flesh from your bones. The legend surrounding is so ingrained into Arizona culture that, to them, it is as real as any human. Like so many ancient American urban legends, have roots in Native American folklore. Due to superstition and concern in the Navajo culture, where this urban legend originates, it can be challenging to gather specific details about these. The Navajo fear the risks of speaking aloud the tales of these creatures due to their potentially sinister motives. So much anxiety can be stirred by the name alone, as there is a belief that speaking about the malevolent beings is not only bad luck, but makes their appearance all the more likely. However, it is understood against the non-Navajo that refers to witch doctors who have become an evil reflection of everything the Navajo Nation values. To put it simply, they were once men, but they have been transformed into malevolent, murderous creatures that don't think twice about using their spiritual powers to kill. They have the ability to turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as any animal or near human. According to an All That's Interesting article by Margot Margendoff, most agree on what it looks like: a deformed animalistic body, marred face, and blazing orange-red eyes. In 1996, a couple of outsiders were introduced to the legend after a series of bizarre and inexplicable events occurred at their new ranch in Utah. A ranch now so well known for its bizarre happenings that the name it now goes by tells a story all by itself. Terry and Gwen Sherman claim that the eerie instances surrounding their ranch property began when they observed what they described as UFOs of varying sizes hovering above their property. It progressed to the appearance of crop circles, and then escalated further to the disappearance, and in some cases the deaths of 7 of their cows. The deaths would be gruesome, with one cow reportedly found with a hole cut into the center of its left eyeball, and another cow was discovered with its rectum caved out. The bodies of the deceased cows also were reported to be emanating an odd and sickly chemical smell that has never been identified. And as for the cows that disappeared, it wasn't as simple as they just went missing. as there was a set of cow tracks discovered in the fresh snow. When the Shermans followed the tracks, they were confused when the tracks abruptly stopped. Stopped as if the cows had simply vanished. Terry Sherman was reported as saying, "If it's snow, it's hard for a 1,200 or 1,400-pound animal to just walk off without leaving tracks, or to stop and walk backwards completely and never miss their tracks. It was just gone." It was very bizarre. And then there were the voices. Terry reported that one night while he was walking his dogs, he heard voices speaking in a language he didn't recognize off in the distance. The dogs went berserk, ferociously barking at, well, nothing. Terry said there was no one to be seen, but he felt that whatever was creating the sound meant to do harm, and he ran hastily back to the house. But it would be the events that would unfold one evening about 18 months after the Shermans had moved into the ranch home. This evening would again find Terry walking the dogs around the property. But on this night, it would not be what was heard that would elicit fear in the Sherman patriarch. No. On this night, it would be what was seen that would evoke a whole new kind of terror. Terry encountered what he first believed to be a wolf on his walking path. But as he continued to look at the menacing figure, he realized this was no ordinary wolf. This creature was 3 times larger than a regular wolf and had glowing red eyes. Eyes that were fixed straight on Terry. Fearing for his safety and the safety of his dogs, Terry would feel grateful to have his shotgun with him, but the comfort of self-defense would soon fade into panic and terror when this creature stood unfazed by 3 close-range shots that blasted through its hide. Mercifully, both Sherman and the dogs survived the ordeal, but that proved to be all the risk he was willing to take, and the property was put up for sale and would sell to what appeared to be the perfect tenant. UFO enthusiast and Vegas realtor Robert Bigelow bought the ranch for $200,000 in 1996 and proceeded to establish the National Institute for Discovery Science on the grounds. He also put up substantial amounts of surveillance equipment, hoping to catch evidence as to what was happening on the property.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Do you like apples?
Yeah.
Yeah? You like them?
VENATOS.
How do you like them apples?
VENATOS is a premium gaming peripheral brand geared toward developing high-performance products. We're currently working toward creating new, exciting, and unique products not currently found on the market. With quality to match its sleek and beautiful design, I can honestly say that my VENATOS mouse is the best that I've ever owned, and I'm looking forward to expanding my collection of VENATOS products. VENATOS ships internationally with extremely low international shipping costs, and shipping is free to the US and Canada. Your products will arrive quickly and carefully packaged, with most orders arriving within 7 to 10 business days. If you're looking to upgrade your setup in an affordable way without substituting looks, VENATOS is an optimal choice, and when you use code PRESSSTARTMOM at checkout, VENATOS is offering a 10% discount on your order. You'll be doing Mom a solid, and you'll be doing yourself a solid. Everyone wins. Thank you so much to VENATOS for sponsoring this video. In the 20 years that he owned the ranch, Bigelow and his team experienced over 100 incidents on the property. In one particular instance, on March 12, 1997, Dr. Colm Kelleher, an employee of Bigelow and biochemist, spotted a large humanoid figure perched in a tree. As Kelleher explained in his book Hunt for the large creature that lay motionless almost casually in the tree. The only indication of the beast's presence was the penetrating yellow light of the unblinking eyes as they stared fixed back into the light. Kelleher fired at the supposed with a rifle, but the creature fled, leaving behind claw marks and imprints on the ground. In yet another terrifying occurrence, the ranch manager and his wife had just tagged a calf before their dog suddenly began acting quite strangely. The dog's behavior concerned the pair, and they retreated back to their home, pulling the agitated dog along with them, deciding they would return later to investigate and make sure everything was as it should be. However, when they returned in the broad daylight, things were anything but as they should be. What they discovered was a calf with its body cavity completely empty. Any logical person would assume that if an 84-pound calf were to be killed, that there would be a mess of blood spread everywhere. But in this case, it was as if all the blood had just been removed. Even with more than 98 additional incidents of disturbing occurrences, ultimately Bigelow and his team of researchers couldn't amass the kind of evidence that any scientific publication would accept as credible. And with that, after 20 years of trying, Bigelow sold the ranch to Adamantium Holdings in 2016 for $4.5 million. Nevertheless, the research at the ranch, from that point on dubbed Ranch, under the control of Adamantium Holdings, is more sophisticated and secretive than ever. There are many stories about online, splashed across Reddit and YouTube, images and artwork telling stories of varying experiences, which in a huge majority seem to occur on Native American reservations, and are reportedly only prevented by the blessings of a medicine man. While it is difficult to determine just how truthful these accounts are, the descriptions are almost always nearly identical. A four-legged beast with a disturbingly human, albeit marred face, and orange-red glowing eyes, and their speed marked with the noise of their hellish screams. Since taking over the ranch, Adamantium has increased surveillance around the property, adding cameras, alarm systems, and infrared. The incidents did not cease under Adamantium and, in fact, became even more alarming. Employee Thomas Winterton recalled one eerie experience as follows. I take my truck up the road, and as I start to get closer, I start to get really scared. Just this feeling that takes over. Then I hear this voice, as clear as you and me talking right now, that says, Stop. Turn around. I lean out the window with my spotlight out and start searching around. Nothing. But Winterton says he has no intention of leaving the ranch. It's like the ranch calls to you, you know? The intrigue around this urban legend has continued to spark the interest of paranormal investigators and thrill seekers, and the morbidly curious alike. The internet is awash in videos of reported evidence of these elusive creatures. But the question remains, is it real? Or just another urban legend? Well, that's for you to decide. Thank you once again for joining me for tonight's video. Your support means the world, and if you haven't already done so, please remember to like the video and subscribe for more creepy content like this. Another thank you to VENATOS for their continued support and for once again sponsoring this video. And thank you to all of you for checking out VENATOS and using my code PressStartMom, because it really does help the channel. And when you're as small as we are, every bit counts. Until next time, remember, you are valid and valued. Take care of yourselves and one another. Good night.